And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with yet another interview. You might see today some similar decks, but we have yet another champion. We have today with us Simon. How are you doing, Simon?
I'm doing great, actually. I'm doing perfect. I won a tournament yesterday, so of course I'm gonna feel good.
I'm feeling good. You sound like Cristiano Ronaldo sometimes, you know? Like the tone of the voice.
Oh, really? I don't know. I don't watch soccer.
I remember I watched an impersonation and you sound exactly like that. You're the Cristiano Ronaldo of Runeterra. Maybe that's contested with PES because he's Portuguese.
I'm white.
Yeah, anyways. We're going to talk about a lineup that we have seen in another interview because you and Daylton crafted and put this together somehow and managed to win 2 tournaments in the space of just 1 day. So congratulations on that. And let's see what's your different takes on the decks. For example, when you wanted to bring Spider-Burn, what were the considerations? Why did you want to bring this?
So in the first tournament with Fizcock, I played Pirates, and then I switched to Spiders. Mostly because Spiders goes way harder than Pirates. Which is against the scene is really important. You have the fair sums with Skitter is a lot more you do it way more damage in one turn than with Pirates, for example. While Pirates has more push later in the game, but I think with the meta game, Spiders just the early push mattered way more. That was the main consideration.
And do you expect to revert back to Pirates, or do you expect for Spider-Burn to not be relevant in the weeks to come?
I think it completely depends on the meta. I think both Spiders and Pirates is really good decks right now. I think overall, I'm going to stick with Spiders most of the time. Because only against Thresh, Nasus, and Lissandra, Pirates does better against, I think. What do you think? Because it does beat Lissandra. Should probably beat Thresh Nasus as well, I think. But Spiders loses to those two.
I do have to ask you about the Spices cards here, because you play one-offs, and you guys played Brothers Bond one-off and Unspeakable Horror one-off. What was the reasoning behind bringing these two as the one-offs?
Wait, what? Is this my list? Oh yeah, I changed it. Yeah. I think Brothers Bond was mostly just because you have yes, makes sense in the deck, right? You always storm the board, and then you have extra 4 damage, which is a lot. Then if they don't clear the units, you have an extra 4 damage. I think I just don't think I needed Horror at all in the deck. I don't like Horror. I think for now I changed it and I removed Horror for Unto Dusk instead, because I think the draw is more important. So looking back now, I think Horror, one of Horror was probably just a mistake. Because I just needed to put in I didn't like 2 of Horror, so I just need to remove one of them, and then Brothers Bond was a great alternative to it.
Since you say you just needed to fit it in and then you want to go to Unto Dusk, it's acting like a pseudo draw because you just get an additional card that you can use later in the game, I guess.
Yeah. So Unto Dusk is basically 2 damage with Doom Beast and with Stygian, right? And you also draw a card, which I think is more important than creating a card. Drawing a card is always going to be better than creating a card. And Horror is 1 damage, and Unto Dusk is 2 damage. So I think Unto Dusk is just better right now.
Yeah, so we might see some changes in this lineup, I guess, since you decided to go for Unto Dusk. But
deck is 100%, yeah.
Moving forward to the next deck that you have brought, and that you said before the interview you have more experience, it is this card Aggro. And can you tell me more? Yeah. Why do you think you have more experience, or why is this a comfort pick, if I may say so?
I mean, I think this could, I guess, be my favorite aggro deck of all aggro decks that have existed in Runeterra. Overall, I'm not a huge fan of aggro. I've always been more of a combo player or control, but not really in Runeterra, because I've never thought it was a really fun control deck in Runeterra. But Karma-S was my favorite deck of all time in Runeterra. But I think overall, this could have just been my go-to pick when I needed to play aggro. I think the setup is a lot more fun. It's not as straightforward as Spider-Burn, which is you play 1-2-3 attack. With Discord, sometimes you can't afford to attack because you need to set up a big crowd favorite, which matters a lot. I think it's more in-depth. It requires more skill as well. I think it is the most difficult aggro deck to play, except Nightfall, which I wouldn't consider aggro, though. That's why.
Yeah. And why then again, why this is a comfort pick for you, or better said, why this is the supreme aggro deck, or why is it better than the others?
So the reason why this is the supreme aggro deck is because it goes way harder. Like if you have the early curve, then add aggro deck, and it beats all the aggro decks. Like no aggro deck will ever beat this card, like in the mirror matchups. It just won't happen because they can't deal with crowd favorite ever. It's not that hard to set up a big crowd favorite because you can afford to take some early damage, afford to not block it, set it up, and then you hit with the 6-7 overwhelm unit and you just win the game. And I think with draw match, you have so much draw. With experimental, that's extra draw as well, and Jinx Rocket is just unstoppable late game compared to other aggro decks. They just fall off. Like this card never really falls off. So against most aggro decks, you can just play safe, and as soon as you stabilize, you win. Against this card, you don't really have that effect. Because the draw Jinx, they have a huge threat again, and you need to deal with Jinx before you can relax again. You don't have that against other aggro decks.
You are putting up constant pressure, and this is how you build the deck after all. We've discussed this with Daylton and with Ultraman in general. Aggro, from the perspective of the player that plays against it, feels like you're always on a high roll train, but from your perspective, you know that you build the deck that way, so you have that early curve and that early pressure. Aggro
is the most consistent archetype for sure. Like there's no argument for it. It just is. Of course, there's high rolls. Like if I go like 1, 2, 3, I have a full board with crowd favorite on 4. Of course, that's a high roll. That doesn't happen every time, but me having 1, 2, 3, that happens 90% of the time. That's not a high roll. It's just odds.
Yeah, and
for sure.
How about the Legendary Guard? I heard Daylton mention why he added the card, but what about you? What do you feel about the card?
I think, I removed it. Well, in Discord, it was instead of Draven's fan. I've never been a huge fan of Legion Saboteur. In Discord, it's because I think the 1 extra damage doesn't matter. It's way more important to be able to control your draws a bit more with Draven's biggest fan, for example. Now, Legion Saboteur is just a huge threat. Hitting 3 damage is so much more damage than 2. If it hits twice, it's already 2 more damage, which matters a lot. And I think it doesn't die to Wild Fist, doesn't die to Whale. Even though we ban Lysandra most of the time, so we don't really have to worry about those cards. But it's still a nice consideration. Against Lysandra is way better because it doesn't get blocked by Eye. Or Zoe if they want to block with Zoe turn 1. Overall, it's just a beefier unit.
Did you have any, let's say, disgusting draws where you had 1 into 2 into 3 and finished the game really fast during the OLS tournament?
I think both against Brush Katka, I think I actually won 2-0 in almost 5 minutes. So yeah, I think that happened for sure. I think I won turn 4 and 5 both games. And that was Aggrometer twice. I think I did really well there. But yeah, overall, this card, I've had a lot of concedes early on with this card because of crowd favorite hits, and then they just concede because they know it can't win. Kinda.
Did you face a lot of Targon lineups, or let's say Targo heavy lineups? Because people might have brought just 1 to get banned, but did they bring 2 so you had to leave 1 open?
Unsurprisingly, not. I thought it would be a lot more Listen. I think I only, in OLS, I think I only played against Listen once or twice. I think Catasis was the only person I lost to in the tournament. And he had triple Targon lineup. So that was a bit rough, but yeah. He went 7 on Swish, right? Then he lost, I think he lost his first top cut match. And he was the only person I lost to, and that was triple Targon is obviously crazy against Aggro.
Yeah, but sometimes triple Targon is more controlish, so you don't need to hit your answers. While Aggro just goes boom, 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 you're dead.
Yeah. But I think he played Nightfall, Karma Zoe, and Affiliate Zoe, though, which should be garbage. I don't know how he won, actually. I don't know. He should have lost. Affiliate Zoe.
Wait a second. I think he had Aurelion Soul Zoe. I do not remember correctly, but I think it might be.
No, it might have been. No, he played Affiliate Zoe 100%. It might have been one Soul in it, maybe. But I played Affiliate and Zoe for sure. And Nightfall for sure. But I think the third deck was Karma Zoe. But no, it can't be Karma. Wait, what? Oh, no, I'm forgetting. No, it's Affiliate Zoe, Nightfall, and the Azol, so Azol Demacia, I guess.
Yeah, Azol Demacia. He loves Azol Demacia. But
yeah, for sure.
moving forward to your lineup and to your last deck, which you said is the more finicky aggro to play, not really aggro, I would dare say more combo, it's Nightfall aggro.
Yeah, this was actually, well, the only reason I brought it for the Fiskak tournament was because they had an extra rule where you couldn't play 3 of the same region. Because I wanted to go discard Pirates and Spiders. And then in last minute, I realized I can't have 3 Noxus decks. So I asked Daylton what he was going to bring, and then I took his Nightfall deck. And actually, I think I played Dina's list in Fiskak and then in OLS. Daylton did really well, so I changed it to this list, which Gift from Beyond is just amazing in Nightfall. And it worked out really, really well. But it's a really sweaty deck. It takes a lot of brain power. It's not the ladder deck for sure.
And what were the reasons that you decided to change to this? How did Daylton convince you?
I think from the list perspective, I think we just practiced and I realized that Gift Beyond is like such a solid card. Like the amount of damage you do with Diana Overwhelm with the Gift is like amazing. I think I won against Dinah with that against his Azir burn deck, even though I don't think it was much he could do that game. He didn't have a really good hand. But I think overall, like with deck list, like I think Gift was just solid. I think Daylton I think he just screamed with me a little bit, and I just realized immediately that was amazing. Then there's the Moonlight, which I never really liked Double Atrocity, so that was kind of obvious choice. And overall, like the reason why we brought Nightfall was just because to target Lee Sin, which it should beat most of the time.
Now that we've shown all the decks, I need to ask you, did you consider another lineup idea at any point, or did you want to play triple aggro at all points? Did you just focus on this?
I think it would either be like targeting Lee Sin and the Lissandra, which would have to be like double Scout or something. Double Scout Nightfall, I guess. I just don't think Scout is in a good spot. I think it's pretty bad. So I never considered that lineup. I know Daylton did. I just didn't. Other than that, it's like playing the actual like Lee Sin, Lissandra. And I can't play Lee. Like I can't. It's such a boring deck to me. Like Lee Sin and Soraka is the only 2 decks I will never play, ever. I hate them so much. But like that would also be a good lineup, like Lee Sin, Lissandra, Soraka, I guess. But like for me, I knew I was gonna play triple aggro because I just didn't like any other lineup out there.
Oh yeah, so you were set up on triple aggro from the beginning?
Yeah, for sure.
And how do you think, let's say, what are your hot takes for the next tournament meta next week? What do you think is going to change?
For the next tournament metas? I don't think we're going to see much change. I think we're probably going to see, well, I guess maybe we see some more hatred for Aggro, because Aggro did, I think, really well overall in the tournaments. I think in like Top Cut, in OSL, everyone had Aggro actually. It was full on Aggro except Goat, I think. So I think we're probably going to see some Trash Nasus showing up with Triple Wild because that crushes Aggro. We're going to see way more Lissandra, I think. Surprisingly, we didn't see any Lissandra at all. I didn't play against a single Lissandra game. Actually, maybe I did once. Wait. Yeah, I think, okay, never mind. I played against 2 Lissandras, I think. I think I just banned it, I don't remember. But yeah, like overall, we're going to see way more Lissandra Trash Nasus. Just to hit on Aggro, probably.
Yeah, and with Lissandra Trash Nasus, what do you think is going to be the third deck? Do they just stay on Lee Sin, or do they play something that's more grindy, something like Zoe Karma?
Lee Sin or Soraka? I think we're going to see way more Soraka as well. Soraka does well into aggro, not spider aggro. He can struggle like. Actually, wait. Does Soraka even beat aggro? Wait, give me 2 seconds. I think. I don't know. I think Soraka is going to be brought just to counter Lee Sin. I don't think you bring Soraka to counter aggro. But to counter Lee Sin, like, I think, yeah, overall, like, Lissandra, Trash Nasus. I guess Karma Zoe will be the third deck to counter aggro with like Gift just to cheat out Ice. It's probably very solid, I think. Yeah, so Trash Nasus, Lissandra, Karma Zoe, or Lee Sin, I guess, will be the 3 decks.
Yeah, we're going to see. The meta seems very aggro at this point, and from my opinion, I think it's going to stay like that for a couple of weeks more, maybe even in the seasonal.
I think it's going to stay so all the way to seasonals for sure.
we are nearing the end of the interview, and now it's the time to put in the spotlight the people that actually helped you prepare. So if you have anyone that supported you, that helped you prepare, now is their time to shine and to shout them out.
Well, it was mostly Daylton, I guess. Even though my lineup is like 66% mine, he helped me a little bit. I have to give it that. I think overall, like, sorry, is always someone I talk to a lot. Even Broken Ball, I didn't talk to him too much when it came to these lineups, but he was the reason that I think this is Broken Ball's Nightfall deck from the beginning. I think he talked to Daylton, then Daylton talked to me. But overall, I think Daylton is sorry for sure. Is the people that helped me the most when it comes to tournaments.
Very nice.
That's
and
about it.
next week, I think you actually have some more tournaments and some more top cuts, so you can actually tell people where they are going to see you next week.
Yeah. So, well, this week, I guess.
Yes,
I don't
this
know what you
week.
called it. Sorry, I think I fucked up. So Thursday, I have the Brazilian Open Top Cut. Probably gonna bring triple aggro. Probably the exact same lineup. I think gonna change the deck list a bit, but I think overall the same lineup. For those of you who wanna counter me, feel free. And then against Fight Night, obviously Friday, we also have that where I might change my lineup. It might not be aggro at all actually. I'm thinking about that still. I'm not sure. Probably still aggro, but I'm not sure. I might change it there. And then on the weekend, we have Daylton and Runeterra, I think as well, where hopefully I'll make the top cut there as well.
Top cut everywhere, but I do like your strategy of maybe I bring aggro, maybe not. Maybe you guys need to figure it out.
Well, I mean, it's like I think like as right now, it's just I have there's so many solid lineups. I think it's not like I don't know what I'm talking about. It's more I just haven't decided yet. Like when we talk about Fight Night, there's like a 2-deck tournament, no ban, right? So that changes your strategy when it comes to lineup completely. So I don't think like there might not be possible to bring aggro because you can't ban Lissandra. I think Lissandra might be super popular, and then aggro is just gonna get shut down. So like I'm still thinking about that. Aggro might still work. I'll probably make a conclusion like on Thursday, I guess. But yeah, as right now, I can't tell you a concrete answer what I'm gonna bring to Fight Night.
Yeah, and it's better like that, so competition doesn't know as well. But thank you, Simon, for being with us. Thank you for sharing a bit of wisdom on your lineups, and we hope to see you around more with some more interviews because hopefully you are going to win more tournaments. Outside of that, congratulations again, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see you next time.
Ciao.